Peace Queen. It's Melissa Crawford of thequeencode.com, and the message today is part 6 in our series called Revelations, Unveiling the Great Mystery of the Divine Feminine. So we're now halfway through this series, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I know I've received posts on Facebook and social media and emails from queens worldwide expressing how this series has really changed their lives. There's some queens who could feel the stirring and knew that there was something special going on inside of them, but they didn't know how to articulate it, what to call it. And so this series has given them great clarity in this beautiful process that they're going through. And then there's some queens who thoroughly understand the divine feminine, and this series has been confirmation and affirmation about a process they've already said yes to and they're already deeply engaged in. So wherever you are on the spectrum, I do hope that this series has really allowed you to grow deeper in your understanding of not only what it means to be a woman, but to be divinely feminine. So I received lots of great emails, right? But on the flip side, I also received some emails of people who were very angry, very threatened, told me that I was basically on a slippery slope, and that's to be expected, because what I'm talking about here is really a very radical concept, and that's one of the reasons why I share a lot of history with you about this, because when you know the history of a thing, you'll realize how history tends to repeat itself. And the divine feminine for years has been a very threatening thing, because oh my gosh, when you actually have women who are unchained and unveiled, the world sits up and take notice. And it's not always men that are threatened by it. Sometimes other women are as well, because we typically fear what we don't know or what we don't understand. And so all I simply do is just send them love, because it's okay, because this is truly the time for the divine feminine to rise. And it doesn't mean like what some people have been emailing me, witchcraft. We actually talked about that in some videos back. That's not what it means. What it simply means is just really learning a new way to be that is more in our natural element, and that's going to allow us to really thrive and transform like we never have before. So here we are in part 6, and in part 6 I want to go back and go a little deeper into one of the feminine gifts that I touched on. I think it was in part 2 or 3 when I was talking about becoming a woman of influence. But I just touched on this, but I want to go deeper into it, and I'm talking about intuition. And it's my belief that intuition is our greatest feminine power. You know, intuition, the Latin root to intuition is intuere, which literally means to look within or to go within. And the formal definition of intuition, I actually have it here. It is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So in other words, it's that knowing. It's that still small voice. It's that nudge that you get, and you can't explain how you know what you know. There's no empirical data, there's no black and white, but you just have this inner knowing, this warm fuzzy feeling, what we may call that gut feeling, our first mind. And intuition is so powerful because, you know, men and women have it, kings and queens have it, but we are naturally more attuned to our intuition as women. And it's so powerful because when we live from that place, when we lead with our intuition, it takes us from existing to living to thriving. Because intuition is that little voice that leads you back to the truth of who you are. It's that little voice that will lead you back to the throne. And so it's this amazing gift that when we lead with it, we become magnificent. It's not about talent. It's not about how hard you work. I know plenty of people with talent. I know plenty of people that work 80 hours a week. But when you look at people who are great, people who, a queen that's on her throne, she honors and leads with her intuition, and all the other talents, come behind that. Being diligent is important. Using your talents are important. But when you bring all of that together with the power of intuition, I mean, you could literally do things like the world has never seen. So you have this beautiful divine feminine gift of intuition, and we're not quite tapping into it like we should. Why? Well, let's read the definition again. The ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. One of the reasons why we're not able to tap into intuition the way we should is because in this society, we honor thinking over feeling. We honor the black and white facts over just an intuitive knowing. So typically, when you may come to a person and say, hey, I just got this hunch, people are going to look at you like, okay, show me the black and white. Like, I can't, it's really not honored as it should be. And so you have that, but you also have, in society, because we're conditioned a certain way, you have all of these different voices of people that are trying to influence your life, whether it's your parents or, what the media says or what this person said or your friend says, or, you have all of these voices speaking to you loudly. You have, responsibilities in your day-to-day life. You have the kids, you have roles to play, and all of these voices become the noise that drowns out that still small voice. Intuition, because it is a feminine thing, is not going to yell, it's not going to shout, it's not going to be gaudy. It's a very quiet thing, but very, very profound. And so if you have all of that conscious societal programming, you have all of that day-to-day noise, you can't really hear the voice of your intuition. And so if that's the case, then how do you tap into this great feminine power? Now, I have many different ways that I do it, and I've actually, I lead with intuition in everything I do. Even with these videos, I'm feeling my way, okay? Thinking, the power of the mind is really, really important. There's no part of us that we should just leave by the wayside. Everything works together. But when you put thinking over your feeling, you're really going to feel lost. You're going to feel confused. We have to lead with those intuitive centers like the heart, right? We have to lead with what we feel and then apply what we think, because many times what we're thinking is it's not even our own thoughts. They're not even our own thoughts. It's just society's programming coming through us, right? So that place of intuition is really that limitless place, that place that knows who you truly are and is trying to lead you back to it. And all we have to do is tap into it. But here's the thing. Like I said, I've been using it for years. There's many different keys to tapping greater into your intuition. And because this video can only be but so long, if I actually share with you all the keys that I use to tap into intuition, it'd probably take about 2.5 hours. So what I've done is I've actually created a masterclass about intuition, and it's actually taking place in 2 days on Wednesday, August 6th, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And so if you want to learn more about that and register for that class, just simply go to my website, thequeencode, C-O-D like David E.com, and click on the mentoring tab. You can register and get all the details, but I do want to share with you one of the most powerful tips right now of tapping into your intuition. And it's so simple that you could possibly overlook it, because many times when we're trying to so hard to transform and be better, we miss what's like right there in front of our faces, right? So one of the ways that you can begin to tap into your intuition, this very simple but very profound, is this little 2-step process that I use all the time that I simply call listen and do. Listen and do. So intuition, again, the root word means go within. Many times queens say, well, I don't know what's within me, because you're not going within you. So as you begin to go within you, at first it's going to be a bunch of mind chatter, but as you get beyond that, you're going to be to a point where you can hear more that still small voice. When you hear it, don't second guess it, simply listen and do. Okay, so that sounds simple enough, right? But then queens may say, but what if I'm not hearing the right thing? How do I know if I'm hearing the right thing? Well, intuition is like a muscle, queen. It gets stronger with use. So if you're hearing something intuitively, begin to act on it. Once you act on it and you get the outcome, just simply step back and evaluate and say, wait a minute, is this the outcome that I was thinking of, or that I wanted? Did this benefit me? Or did I, kind of misinterpret there a bit? Think about your results. Think about what you do differently, what you do the same. And if you did misinterpret slightly, because here's the thing, if you go within and you really begin to listen and do, you're never going to be totally wrong. You might be a little off, and that's okay. Whatever it is, just simply forgive yourself. And the next time when it comes, time to use your intuition, all you simply have to do is take that last lesson, apply it to the current lesson, continue to listen and do. When it comes to the royal path, many times what blocks us is we're trying to get it all right the first time. This is not a perfect process. If you wanted to, I just recently saw the movie Get On Up with James Brown. Okay, James Brown didn't become James Brown overnight. James Brown used what he already had as a natural gift. It wasn't enough to just say, oh, I have this natural gift to sing, and I have this natural gift to dance, and I'm just going to get up there and do my thing. No, he practiced. And so, queen, that's what you must do. You put the work in, not hard work, heart work. My intuition is very strong, but I use it every single day. And there have been times in the past where I felt that something was the right thing to do, and maybe it was the right thing to do, but my method could have been better. I simply forgave myself because I'm still learning, right? And I applied that lesson to the next situation. I just moved on. Okay? So don't block your blessings by trying to make everything perfect. And I don't want to, commit because I might make a mistake. Queen, you have to jump in there. This is the initiation process. All right? So just simply listen and do, and course correct along the way. That is the one tip that I want to share with you. As simple as it has transformed my life. Okay, but if you want more keys in how to unlock this beautiful feminine gift of intuition, I invite you to join us for a live call, a live masterclass. It's over the phone, it's on the computer. If you can't make the live call on Wednesday, no worries. They're all recorded, so you can still get the playback. But what we're going to be talking about is basically how to clear that internal and external clutter so you can hear better the voice of intuition. What to do to heal that relationship with intuition. Sometimes we're blocked from using it because you haven't listened to it and you've disobeyed it. And you feel bad about that. What to do about that. We're also going to be talking about things like how to really trust your own intuition instead of second guessing yourself and constantly needing validation from other people. I'm going to share with you all the keys to really begin to activate this wonderful power. So all you have to do is go to www.thequeencode.com/mentoring and register for that class. And I'll be back with you next week for part 7 of the Revelation series. Stay tuned.